The guardian of Aru village, Candace, is a powerful and honorable protector. So powerful is she that her feats often lead to rumors embellishing her accomplishments well beyond the realm of outlandish. Rumors say that the blood of King Deshret himself flows through her veins. They say that she is his last surviving descendant. They say that every grain of sand in the desert serves her as spies, and that from Candace, there can be no escape. They even say that she can use her amber eye to see the future and foresee the fates of others. In reality, these are just exaggerated stories made up by those she has defeated, because Candace is not the one true descendant of the lost god, King Deshret. That title belongs to all who are natively born to Aru village. They are all the metaphorical descendants of his domain. And of course she doesn't control the sands to serve as her spies, but more simply it is her skill for hunting and tracking those who have done wrong in Aru village, which makes it seem as if the desert sands actively work against any hope of escape. And lastly, it should be no surprise that one bearing the unusual trait of heterochromatic eyes would cast an air of mysticism. But Candace herself admits that this is not a skill she possesses, but perhaps the more interesting aspect of her eyes lies in the shapes behind the blue and gold, the possible hints of a diluted Conrian heritage, perhaps. But as embellished as the stories of Candace's abilities are, the true stories of her past are possibly more outlandish, and help to clarify why such tales could so easily be passed off as truth. Before even reaching the age of 8, Candace was already serving as a guard, and partook in one of the many village selection rituals to become a guardian. In this ritual, one must exceed the distance of the first guardian's throw using the heaviest weapon in the armory. The doors were opened, and a spear by which sheer weight alone caused the floor beneath it to bow leaned against the wall, with its tip nearly through the ceiling. Casually, the small child took up the spear, walked outside with it, and hurled it a half pace further than the previous guardian's spot. She turned and smiled while those watched remained silent and in awe. This event alone was enough that many of the village's former guardians would never speak a word of doubt regarding Candace. She would be the next guardian, and so at just 8 years old, Candace was passed the title by her predecessor. But with that title came a warning. The mission of the Aru village guardian is to guard the village till the last of King Deshret's people fade away. This would be a mission she would take deathly serious. Aru village would never be a playground for miscreants under her care. Those who would make such an effort would beg forgiveness or face judgment. With her staunch dedication to protection established, it might be easy to assume that she would carry out her duties by enforcing the same protective strategies and keeping to the ways of isolation in much the same way her predecessor had. But Candace understands that surviving and living are two different things. She wants everyone to be more than just secure. She wants them to be happy in their daily lives. Together with the village elders, she allows the safe import of foreign goods from traders that were once denied simply for security. This was so against the known and expected way of doing things that some among the retired guardians began to believe that Candace had abandoned their ancient traditions. And so they summoned Candace to a gathering and laid bare their misgivings. In response to the accusations of dereliction and a clear lack of understanding for the future she aims to provide, Candace stood taller than she ever had. With anger burning inside her, she put her resolve on display. With her spear tightly clutched within her fingers, she stormed out with energy to match the resolve she had just displayed. It was at some point while her rage beamed forth the fervor of her ambition that the eyes of the gods found her. In silence, they approved of her resolute determination and left with her their boon. At the tip of her spear, a shining blue jewel had appeared, and it must have been a miraculous sight for those around her to witness, but not for Candace, because her determination in the moment was so strong that her focus never wavered, and so she would not notice her prize until after she departed. In the current day, As the embodiment of a living legend to those who roam the desert sands of Sumeru, Candace has generated hope for the remaining descendants of the desert's former shining kingdom. They no longer sit and wait for death to find them, and that hope may have contributed to the increasing frequency of those that support the belief in the prophesied resurrection and return of King Deshret. But this prophecy is impossible. And knowledge of that fact, along with the truth of the legends, which say that each guardian is blessed by King Deshret himself, would be her burden to forever carry. Upon receiving the mantle of guardian, the precious secret passed from guardian to guardian was led unto her ears. For some guardians, this news shook them to their core, breaking them completely and causing them to give up practicing the martial arts entirely. For others, the knowledge that they were not being watched led them to betray the very notion of the guardians, eventually becoming violators of the very laws they were meant to enforce. But not Candace. She understood this to mean that their god-king is truly gone, and all traces of his blessings have left this land forever. It tempered her ambition like a blade and gave her purpose. The warning she was given describing the mission of the guardians echoed in her mind. The path the village was set upon by centuries of guardians before her was leading them to a gradual but very certain demise. If Aru village was a candle, its flame was in danger of flickering out, and that could not be allowed to happen. Clinging onto the past was ensuring the loss of their culture, and this was not protection. And so Candace decided she wasn't just going to protect her people. She was going to protect and ensure their futures. Candace's protection and ideology led to many changes, and with them many unknown variables that couldn't have been foreseen. For instance, the village can no longer build structures to the old standard, which required all guardians to strike the walls of new structures with their shields. Only if the walls remained standing and showed no signs of cracking were they deemed strong enough. But all in Aru village quickly came to understand that the walls would need to be made immeasurably thick to survive a strike from Candace. And so the standard was revised. Not only that, but with the village's roads no longer closed off, treasure hoarders and other unsavory types can now work their way into the village. Those naive enough to think Aru village is a fruit ripe for the picking will find themselves facing Candace's spear, and those who survive contribute to the legend of her prowess.
Candace is in a good mood. You're off the hook.
The villagers of Aru understand what outsiders often do not about their guardian. Candace is not all ferocity and power. She's not cruel or violent by nature. To the contrary, she's kind and nurturing. She looks out for everyone, even those who are just visiting the village, because she truly cares about their happiness. Only those closest to her know that this comes at a personal cost. You see, Candace often goes to merchants which travel to Aru village, purchasing ornate hairpins, bracelets, and other jewelry that catches her eye. But because these trinkets are too delicate to survive the rigors of her daily routine, practicality dictates that they be placed in the deepest corners of her wardrobe until she at last takes the time to rest in the shade. But what's more likely is that these items will be given away as gifts to her friends in hopes that the delicate items will be enjoyed by someone, rather than sitting in her wardrobe waiting for a day which will never come. Candace's personal sacrifice doesn't end with foregone sensibilities, as she believes that a guardian will not leave what they have purpose to protect. Meaning, Candace does not leave the borders of Aru village without purpose. That is to say that for reasons other than tracking those who have brought trouble to Aru village, Candace rarely, if ever, leaves at all. It's the cruel irony of her mission. For the village to grow and prosper, the guardian must remain to ensure the people may live happy, productive lives, even if that leads them to leave the confines of the village in pursuit of their own hopes and dreams. So while life emerges, bringing change to the streets of Aru, the protector of the people's future must remain steadfastly dedicated to isolation, like the guardians who came before. And that's it for this video. What do you think of Candace's story? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, support what I do by subscribing and hitting the like button. Once this video reaches 2K likes, those who've left a comment on the video letting me know who their favorite Genshin Impact character is will be entered into the drawing for this beautiful and unique Candace shadow box. Special thanks to Esclair Studios for providing the artwork for this video, and if you'd like to check out their full catalog, check the link in the description and be sure to use the special discount only for viewers of my channel. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia. May the 7 guide you, travelers.